Once upon a time, in a distant kingdom, there lived a young prince who loved to hunt. Every day he roamed the forests, but his mother, the gentle queen, warned him softly, "You may hunt on 3 sides, my son, but never go to the 4th. For there lies a secret you are not yet ready to see." Curiosity, however, tugged at his heart. One day, he ventured into the forbidden side, where only parrots lived. Parrot King spoke to him, "A princess lives beyond, but her land is hidden from strangers." Saddened by this mystery, the young prince returned home, unable to eat or sleep, longing to see her. As the young prince began his journey, his parents packed his favorite clothes, warm blankets, and a small bag of sweet treats. He sat near a quiet forest pond under a shady tree and opened his sweets. A line of tiny ants hurried toward them, nibbling gently. The prince smiled and moved the sweets aside so the ants could eat peacefully. The ant appeared and said softly, "Thank you for your kindness. If ever you need us, call and we will come." Just beyond the pond, the prince heard a soft cry. Beneath a large banyan tree, a tiger cub was struggling to walk. A sharp thorn was stuck in its paw. The prince gently removed it. The cub rested its head on his lap, grateful and calm. The tiger family appeared and said, "For your kindness, we will always be ready to help you." The forest wind swayed gently, as if whispering back his kindness, and the prince continued his journey with new animal friends and a heart filled with courage. In another peaceful part of the forest, the young prince met 4 wandering men who were arguing loudly. They each carried magical treasures, but none of them could decide how to share them. The prince listened quietly, spoke kindly, and helped them solve their quarrel. They were so grateful that they gifted him a magical bed that could fly anywhere he wished, a small bag that could give anything he asked for, a bowl that never ran out of clean water, and a strong stick with a rope for safety. As the sky turned golden and the forest lights began to glow, the prince lay gently on the magical flying bed and drifted through the quiet air. He floated over forests, rivers, and sleepy villages until he reached a faraway land, where a kind old woman welcomed him and gave him a soft place to rest for the night. At night, when the palace rested, the princess stepped outside, shimmering like moonlight over her kingdom. The prince watched quietly from afar, his heart full but his words silent. He left small gifts by her bedside, a green beetle leaf, a soft shawl, and then a sparkling little ring. Each morning, the princess found them and felt warmth in her heart. Someone cared. Someone was gentle. When she finally met the prince, she understood. His love was quiet, patient, and true. And so, with a soft smile, she agreed to marry him. When the prince met the beautiful princess, her father, the great king, would not allow them to marry unless the prince proved his strength. The king gave him very difficult tasks. First, the prince needed to crush a huge pile of tiny mustard seeds. He knelt beside them and worked carefully, remembering how gently he treated the ants. Soon, tiny ants appeared and helped him break them into powder. Next, the prince had to face 2 fierce demons. He stood bravely, holding the strong stick he had received long ago. The tigers he once helped stepped forward by his side and gave a mighty roar. The demons ran away in fear. Then came the sky-high drum. The prince climbed onto his magical bed and floated up, higher and higher, until he reached the great drum. He struck it once, and the sound echoed across the kingdom. Last came the hardest task, cutting down a giant tree using only a soft wax hatchet. The prince lifted the hatchet, but it bent easily in his hands. He stood quietly, thinking. The princess stepped closer and whispered a gentle idea. She asked him to warm the hatchet by holding it near the sunlight so it softened even more. Then she told him to place it against the trunk and tap very lightly instead of chopping hard. The prince did exactly as she said. Each soft tap made the wax melt a little, and it slid between the cracks of the bark. Soon, the wax soaked inside the tree like glue. When the prince pulled the handle back, the wax began peeling the bark, little by little. He kept tapping patiently, and the tree slowly weakened. Finally, with one simple push, The giant tree leaned over and fell gently to the ground. The king, amazed, granted his daughter in marriage. The prince and princess returned to his homeland, bringing with them riches, magical gifts, and a love that would last forever. And so, they lived happily, surrounded by wonders and friends who had helped them along the way.